When the fashion world felt like it knew the entire formula for success, one name came up that shook the entire system: Jungkook. Not with marketing theory, not with millions of dollars of paid advertising that plays all over the world, but with a method that is, so to speak, barely detectable. A strategy that blends art, psychology, time, and personal authenticity. Jungkook is not just the face of Calvin Klein. It changed how the brand was brought to life. In every movement, there is a reckoning. In every silence, there is meaning. And when he showed up, it wasn't just promotion that happened, it was a cultural shift. Imagine, one Jungkook upload, one photo, without a caption, could replace an entire international billboard campaign. That is the power of the secret method that he built secretly. But the effect is like an earthquake that spreads from Seoul to New York, from Milan to Tokyo. When Calvin Klein first announced Jungkook as its global ambassador, the world responded like it was big news, but didn't yet know how big the impact would be. Behind every photo of Jungkook in the CK campaign, there is a storytelling that is so subtle as if it is not selling anything. See how they structure the visual narrative. Lighting that accentuates the texture of denim, poses that seem relaxed but have a certain rhythm, even the direction of Jungkook's gaze that is always connected to the camera but does not look at him frontal. This is no coincidence. CK's creative team knew exactly that Jungkook had an aura that could blur the line between people and brands. They harnessed the power of human connection, not just visual appeal. While other brands filled the market with bombastic taglines and influencers shouting about products, Jungkook appeared in silence, without words, without descriptions, but creating a global stir. Each photo is like a silent poem that builds an image of modern authenticity. Fans don't feel like they're being told to buy, but want to be part of the world shown. This is the subtlest form of marketing. Selling a lifestyle through collective emotion, not a product. And Jungkook understands perfectly well that in the digital age, consumers are no longer looking for brands, they are looking for the meaning behind them. By hiding the story behind each photo, Jungkook made the audience want to find out for themselves. The result? Engagement increases not because of promotion, but because of the natural human curiosity that he managed to trigger. Jungkook doesn't speak much in public. He rarely gives lengthy interviews or details about his work with Calvin Klein, but precisely therein lies the secret method. It creates an empty space where the public can interpret itself. Every silence from Jungkook became a field of speculation, and every speculation meant free exposure. For example, when he suddenly appears at the airport in a Calvin Klein jacket without any captions, the media world reacts like a detector that catches rare signals. Articles, videos, style analysis to fan theory sprang up in a matter of hours, all without a single official announcement. Jungkook understands that in the modern world of communication, nothingness can be noisier than promotion. It plays on the pattern of silence as a strategy of extreme visibility. Just like the concept of negative space in design art where the invisible reinforces the visible, Jungkook's silence created a resonance. As other brands screamed on each platform, Jungkook simply walked over, looked down slightly, or posted an emoji, and the rest of the world stopped to pay attention. This is not a coincidence, but a form of social timing mastery. He knows when the world is hungry for a new symbol, when the public is getting tired of repetitive brand narratives, and when he needs to disappear to make people look forward to his return. In marketing, this is called psychological scarcity, and Jungkook does it with natural precision. Without saying a word, he made the whole world talk about it. Without an open campaign, he brings the hype to life. If most brand ambassadors are formed by companies to adjust the image, Jungkook actually reverses his role. Calvin Klein didn't shape Jungkook, it was Jungkook who fit Calvin Klein into his world. This is reversal marketing, a rare and very risky method for a brand as big as CK. But they knew Jungkook's influence could not be measured by traditional logic. When he wears jeans or a CK jacket, it does not look like a promotion, but rather part of an authentic daily identity. This authenticity forms a trust that is difficult to buy. Fans felt that Jungkook was not representing the brand, but was indeed living within it. That's why Jungkook's engagement is higher than any brand ambassador in Calvin Klein's history, surpassing even the record of the already legendary American celebrity. An internal marketing report showed that every time Jungkook appeared in the campaign, searches for Calvin Klein Jungkook jumped by 700% in the first 24 hours, while the products he wore sold out in a matter of hours. Not because of advertising, but because of trust. Jungkook doesn't sell made-up dreams. He exudes a stylistic honesty that leads the public to believe that CK is part of his personality, not a stage costume. In the modern marketing world, this is called identity-based branding, and Jungkook mastered it without ever learning it formally. It lives in a way that merges with the brand, not above it. One more secret that the public rarely realizes: Jungkook's speed in adjusting to the digital momentum. In an era where trends change in a matter of hours, it knows when to step in and when to step back. When Calvin Klein uploaded a 7-second teaser with Jungkook's face, he immediately posted something not directly relevant but atmospherically connected: a dark video with a minimalist back sound. At first glance, it looks like personal content, but it turns out to be arranged in harmony with CK's campaign tone. This creates a dual psychological effect. The public feels seen two versions of Jungkook, the artist and the human one. He combines the two identities in one digital space that feels very intimate. That's why fans' interactions with Jungkook's content feel like two-way communication, not just visual consumption. Jungkook is well aware that modern social media algorithms value consistent authenticity. He is never too visible promoting something, but all he does is reinforce the brand narrative attached to it. This makes it much more effective than traditional advertising. Even market analysts say that every time Jungkook posts something, the value of earned media CK reaches tens of millions of dollars without a penny of advertising. All because of the speed of reaction and emotional intelligence that he uses to read the public in real time. But behind all those secret strategies, there's a thing that can't be taught at any university: the emotional connection between Jungkook and his public. He builds relationships that are not just based on popularity, but shared journey. Fans grew up with Jungkook, from a shy teenage boy in BTS to a global icon leading the world's fashion campaigns. Every achievement feels personal to them, and every collaboration feels like a shared victory. Jungkook understands the power of collective emotional memory. That is why, when she appeared in Calvin Klein's black and white photographs, the public did not just look at the model, they saw a symbol of the long journey they went on for many years. This is the rarest form of marketing, where the brand is no longer a product, but part of emotional memories. In the fashion industry, only a handful of people can reach this level, and Jungkook has taken it to new heights. He made Calvin Klein not just about denim, but about the emotions embedded in every fiber of it. So, when the world asks, what exactly is Jungkook's secret method of dominating Calvin Klein marketing? The answer is simple, but deep. It does not sell products. It sells feelings. It does not create trends, it creates moments. And in each of those moments, Calvin Klein is not just present, it lives in the eyes of millions who believe that authenticity is the most powerful form of marketing in the modern world. Jungkook is not just the face of Calvin Klein, it's his strategy. If you think that every photo of Jungkook for Calvin Klein is just an ordinary photo shoot, you are very wrong. Every angle, every shadow, every piece of fabric that seemed to happen to fall on his shoulders, everything was calculated. But in Jungkook's hands, the result feels natural, not artificial. This is where his greatness comes in. He knows how to deceive public perception, so that what is designed with precision feels like a spontaneous moment. During CK's photo session in Los Angeles, for example, Jungkook was given only a rough concept, free, urban, raw. But in his execution, he chooses small gestures that are not written in the script. The way he takes a deep breath before looking at the camera, the way his fingers touch the edges of jeans, or the way his eyes look tired but still warm. Those little elements form an illusion of authenticity that leads people to believe they're looking at the real Jungkook, when in fact, they're witnessing a meticulously controlled visual narrative. This is called authentic direction, a photographic method that deceives emotions by regulating spontaneity. Calvin Klein and Jungkook successfully blend the art of cinematography with the reality of social media, so that every picture feels like behind the scenes of real life. Fans are not aware that they are being curated, because they are busy feeling the ostensibly honest closeness. This is a gentle trap that makes each Jungkook upload not just a visual promotion, but an emotional experience. It erases the line between reality and image, making the audience ask, which is real? And at that point when reality blurs, that's where Calvin Klein wins. Jungkook understands not only humans, but also machines. In each post, he leverages how social media algorithms work intuitively. He knows when to post not just rush hour, but when public emotion is high. For example, after a big event like world-class friendship, or after rumors about his activities appear, Jungkook always waits a few hours before posting something seemingly simple. A monochrome photo, an emoji, or a short video without a caption. But it was precisely that simplicity that triggered the engagement spike. The algorithmic system considers the post to be organic, not a paid campaign, and pushes it to more users' feeds. This is not a coincidence, but a strategy called post-echo manipulation. He lets the emotions of the public resonate first, and then enters at the most saturated moment, so that his upload feels like a thirst quencher after a flood of rumors. Once the domino effect began, the global media hitched a ride, and CK gained exposure without the cost of a dime of advertising. Every click, every comment is the result of a time calculation. And because Jungkook rarely speaks directly about products, the algorithmic system treats his uploads as cultural content, not promotional content. The result? Wider reach, more organic audience, and more lasting impression. In the world of digital marketing, Jungkook is not just a platform user. It is a self-aware algorithm. One thing that the public rarely realizes is how Jungkook built a hidden network of collaboration. He doesn't always appear with influencers, but every step is followed by photographers, designers, and creative directors who all have global influence. Look who shot his CK campaign photographers, who also worked for Balenciaga, Prada, and Versace. Each collaboration is like an invisible chain that extends CK's reach into the world of high-end fashion without them needing to change identities. Jungkook knows how to keep the brand ecosystem around him exclusive but relevant. He rarely posts pictures with other celebrities, But when one big name mentions him, the effect explodes like a cultural earthquake. For example, when an international model reshared a photo of CK Jungkook with the short caption, "This energy," just 2 words, were enough to create 20 million impressions on X, Twitter, and Instagram in 24 hours. This is not luck, but the result of a collaboration system designed with silence. Jungkook does not network through public events, but through mutual creative respect, the ultimate way to create an invisible influence. He is like a shadow that walks among the big brands, never forcing, but always leaving a trail followed. If you look closely, Jungkook's campaign with Calvin Klein has a consistent color pattern: monochrome, gray, a little cool blue, and shades of natural leather. It's not just an aesthetic, it's a visual code designed to trigger a specific emotion. In color psychology, cold gray and blue create an impression of urban tranquility, while the contrast of natural skin gives human warmth. This combination produces a double effect. It feels exclusive, but can still be felt. Jungkook makes use of soft lighting that creates emotional realism. Shadows in his jaw, small reflections in his eyes, or highlights in the not-so-sharp muscles of his hands. All of this mimics the way movie cameras of the 80s worked, the era in which Calvin Klein first achieved its glory. This means that Jungkook's campaign is not just an advertisement for the present, but a time bridge that connects CK's history with the new generation. As such, every frame featuring Jungkook feels like renewed nostalgia. The public is not aware that they are feeling the collective memory of the Calvin Klein classic. But with a relevant new face, this is a very smart psychological game. Tie the past with the future in one picture. And Jungkook, with his calm but strong presence, became a point of balance between the 2 eras.